Here, only 1% of fathers have taken up the chance to share parental leave a year after the government changed the system for mums and dads in the UK.
Should new dads be encouraged to spend more time bringing up their baby?
Well, joining me now is the founder of the Dad Network, Al Ferguson.
Well, Al Ferguson is the founder of the website The Dad Network, joins us now from central London. Hello, Chi. Thanks very much indeed for joining us on Sky News this afternoon. How surprised were you at the findings of this survey?
I thought they'd be low. I thought the statistics would be low, and then it wouldn't be this great big cultural shift that we've seen, and a great big sudden surge in dads taking time off. But I was kind of shocked that they were quite as low as they are.
So if you did decide, Al, as a dad, as a bloke, that that's the road you wanted to go down, the reaction of employers is not all that it might be.
That's right. There's definitely a perception out there that on your return you won't be perceived the same for having a long period of leave off, and that's a real consideration for lots of working people. But again, it's not just the dads that have that. Mums that have that as well.
I think there are a number of barriers stopping dads. I mean, we've discussed this in the Dad Network on our social media, on our website in depth, and I think that it is very clear that dads do want to have that time off with their children. So it's not like there isn't a demand for this. But I think that the barriers are financial. I think that it's such a large drop in dads' incomes, in family incomes, down to £139 a week. From their normal salary, and they just can't afford it.
So a couple of points that you're making there. Mums are finding it difficult to let go, presumably, and they're perhaps a little bit too overprotective, even with their own partners. And also assuming that men are earning more than their partners, and so they feel that they should be going back to work.
That's right. I think that it's the conversation with your partner about you want to have this time off, but they don't want to give it up. I think that's going to be different for every single set of parents, and you've got to find what fits for you. I think that's partly neglected in this whole kind of conversation, is that actually every family is different, and what works for one family might not work for the other family. But having the option there is what's important.
Okay, so what needs to be done then to reassure new mums that actually, you know what, it's okay, dad's not going to drop the baby while you're back at work?
That's a very good question. I mean, that's partly why I've started the Dad Network, to kind of be that voice for dads and say, actually, we have babies too. The only difference between us and mums is the fact that we can't physically give birth or breastfeed, but actually everything else is exactly the same in terms of our ability to care for our children. So that's partly what we're trying to do. But
I suppose
also,
the other way of looking at that, and I don't know what you think, is that potentially dads are a little bit more anxious and not really quite sure what to do. And so they're thinking, oh, I'm not sure how to deal with this baby, and what about when it cries? And so they're not necessarily giving the right feedback to their wives or partners, and so they're more reluctant to go back to work. What would you say to would-be dads or dads to be within the next few weeks or so about how to look after newborns?
Well, I think the answer to that is very simple, because I think that if a mum ever said that she was 100% knew what she was doing, I think she'd be lying. And I would say to those dads, those new dads, expectant dads, I'd say there isn't a rule here. Nobody really knows what they're doing until you're doing it. So follow your instincts and, seek advice from other dads. And that's what kind of being part of the network is all about.
Yeah, and that's exactly what mums do as well, of course, isn't it? And you tend
Absolutely.
to sort of work it out with yourself and your baby, don't you? Because,
Right.
You can read lots of manuals, but actually it's when you're hands-on that you figure it out yourself.
That's right, and learning from other people's experience is far more valuable than reading a book about, one person's experience at some point in their life.
OK, great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us on Sky News. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.